compared to what Hillary Clinton wants to accomplish, it was a no-brainer. Trump's agenda for the future of America was so much far superior than Hillary Clinton. It was a no-brainer that I was going to support him. And I support most of the policies, virtually all the policies that he's trying to get passed right now. But let me get back. The point is, nobody should, on the Republican side should have repudiated Trump. He was better than Hillary Clinton. I stood up and supported that.
Can you imagine Hillary Clinton president today?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, absolutely. I mean, not only that, you'd have every Supreme Court decision going the opposite way it is now. So not only do you have her policies as an executive branch, you would have the judicial branch.
No Judge Gorsuch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Senator Heller came out and opposed and openly supporting the Senate bill to repeal and replace Obamacare. Do you support the Senate bill?
I think the Senate bill could be a lot better, and it doesn't focus on what the needs should be focused upon. And that's sort of ironic, because you hear Dean Heller saying, hey, we should expand Medicaid more, meaning we need to have more of our taxpayer dollars going and our debt going up higher, or he's not going to support the bill. The Republicans concentrated on the Senate bill on repealing the taxes in the bill. You know, the biggest problem I see with the health care bill is the burden and financial burden it's imposing upon the middle-class, hard-working Americans, people that are making between 40 to 70, 80, 90,000 a year. They're trying to support their family.
They're getting killed by the tax bill, aren't they?
Well, it isn't.
By the health care bill, which is a tax. It really is a tax.
The health care bill is killing them, and you can call it a tax, but there's taxes in the bill that are $1 trillion that the current Senate bill repeals. But what I want to see happen to the bill is people that I just mentioned, middle-class, hard-working Americans, are seeing their premiums, like mine. Mine went up 300%. My deductible went 500%. And then I just found out—
You're self-employed.
I'm self-employed. And now I just found out my copay to go see a specialist, because my son had a stroke 2 years ago, so he goes sees his neurologist, and it's $150 instead of $35. It's gone up 400%. There are stories after stories after stories about how this is hitting Americans, and I think those are the ones, the people that felt the impact of the Obamacare bill the worst, that voted Trump into office, and that's what we should be focused on, reducing the cost for the premiums and deductibles for those people. I don't think the health care bill does enough. But that being said, I want to make this clear. Anything is better than Obamacare right now, except possibly socialized medicine.
How about just repealing it and letting the market take over?
You can do that.
Rand Paul suggested that.
Yeah, I mean, and Rand Paul's talked about repealing and then having a timeline down the road where hopefully you get something else passed. That we could all say what we want to have done, this or that, but there's certain things that aren't going to be done because of Obamacare and what is done and the entitlements is put out there. There are certain things that I don't think you can roll back without causing a really catastrophic effect on the industry. But there are other things that you can, and then open up the free market, the competition within the insurance industries, and get the prices down, and then you can do some of these things. And that's, I don't know if our current health care bill does that stuff. We need to create open competition in the insurance industry. More competition creates a better product at a lower cost. It does it in almost everything.
Isn't one of the problems with the health care and the costs for the average middle class, and I have a pre-existing condition, I'm a veteran, is the fact that the health insurance companies are being forced to cover people with pre-existing conditions. So imagine if you're driving down the street and you run into someone, and then you call up the next day and say, Geico, I want insurance to cover the accident they had. They can't stay in business. Yeah. So don't we need to handle and take care of people with like your son, with pre-existing conditions, but the rest of us are paying way too much and can't afford our own care. And so what we have is people paying $600 a month for an individual health insurance policy with a $6,000 deductible. That's not health care. That's a scam. That's a ripoff.
$1,480 a month for my family is $6,000 with a $5,000 deductible. Look, there's two parts of pre-existing conditions. One is people that want to get insurance and pay their fair share of insurance and stay on the insurance. Something needs to be done to provide health care for those people, and there can be these catastrophic insurance pools that Senator Paul has talked about that you'd have to have some
type of— What about just putting them on Medicaid? That's where they should be.
You could put it on Medicaid, and then you can expand Medicaid and take it from its original purpose, or you could have these risk pools. I like the risk pools, but either way, it's going to be handled the same way. The problem with the other angle is the people that are gaming the system, what you just said. Somebody doesn't want to have health insurance, so they don't pay for health insurance. And as soon as they get sick, then they go in and they say, hey, according to Obamacare, you got to provide health insurance to me, and I want it at the lowest cost possible, even though I'm already sick and have a new condition. That's happening a lot. In fact, both the Senate and the Congressional Health Care Bill try to stop that from happening. One of them put a requirement that if you allow your insurance to lapse over 33 days or 63 days, I think it is, you can charge. You have to be. You could. The insurance companies can charge a 30% premium for 1 year. That's not a real big penalty for allowing your insurance to lapse. The Senate bill says you can't buy insurance for, I don't know, 3 months or something like that. But there has to be something to stop people from gaming the system, which is what you're talking about.
We're going to take a break. We're going to go to a commercial right now. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to this episode of Battlefield Nevada. We're here with Danny Tarkanian on the 4th of July. And we're talking about health care. We're talking about a lot of the issues that are facing Nevadans today. So what is it about Senator Heller's position on health care that you differ from?
Senator Heller says he will not support the health care bill because it cuts Medicaid. It does not cut Medicaid. And that's what really bothers me about the Republicans and how they get the message out. We're allowing the Democrats and the mainstream liberal media to get the message out that we're cutting Medicaid. The Senate bill actually increases Medicaid by over 30% over the 10-year period that they analyzed it. It's the inflation rate plus 1%. It's actually going up. It's not being cut. Senator Heller says, oh, no, we want it to go up like Obamacare was, where it's going to double. Well, the only problem with that is, first of all, it's unsustainable with respect to our federal debt. We're almost $20 trillion in debt right now. We're $500 billion deficit this year, going up to $1 trillion. This is unsustainable and we can't have it happen. Second of all, even the people who approved Medicaid for their states, like Governor Sandoval, knew that at a point in time, the states had to start taking over a higher percentage of the Medicaid cost, originally of the increase in Medicaid costs. Originally, it was going to be 10% in 2020, and that's going to go to 20%, 30% in years forward. Well, why do they say now they can't pay for it, and instead they want to force the middle-class, hardworking Americans to shoulder this whole burden?